Welcome to Stache Sports Episode 10. This week, the Pittsburgh Pirates finally traded for a bat. Let's hope it helps, because last year the Pirates desperately needed bats when they have one of the best pitchers, Paul Skeens, and all of baseball pitching for them before he goes and pitches for the Yankees, Dodgers, or somebody else. The Pirates traded for Brandon Lowe, who was on the Tampa Bay Rays last year and had 31 home runs. That's at least, I think, 10 more home runs than O'Neill Cruz had for the Pirates, who went to the home run derby last year. Let's hope that Brandon Lowe can hit the ball when bases are loaded to help Paul Skeens or whoever's pitching that day get some runs in and not have a crappy batting average like most of these Pirate players do. Let's hope that Brandon Lowe's bat can spark the at-bats and wake up Brian Reynolds, who are paying all of his money to, or O'Neill Cruz, and others. Also, the Pirates need to bring up Connor Griffin. Connor Griffin is a shortstop, I believe, that's in the double A and single A, and last year was hitting the schemes off the ball. If the Pirates want to be taken seriously, they need to bring him up, and also they still need to trade for more bats. It'd be nice to have more bats when you have one of the best pitchers in all baseball, and Paul Skeens to have at least maybe a chance to run at the World Series. But who knows? The Pirates still need more bats, in my opinion. But at least Brandon Lowe is a step in the right direction, and his ownership is finally learning. But also, we've been bamboozled before as Pirate fans getting trades, and the trades are really bad. We traded for the passer also, a top prospect in Boston, so maybe he can come up with Connor Griffin later on this year. Earlier this week on Thursday Night Football, we had the Rams and the Seahawks. The Seahawks came back from 16 points down in the fourth quarter and had 3 two-point conversions. One of them was rolled a backwards pass, and Charbonnet picked it up in the end zone, going for 2 points. That was an interesting play. I haven't seen that happen before in the NFL. Then it went to overtime, and the Rams got the touchdown first, and then the Seahawks decided to go for a touchdown and go for 2. So why would you want to tie? It's pointless to tie in pro football at this late in the season. It doesn't help anybody. So the Seahawks decided to go for 2 and got it to a wide open tight end. Then on Friday, we had the first round of college football players between Alabama and Oklahoma. Alabama won by 10 points, making history as the first team to win on the road in the new college football playoff 12-team format. And Miami won the next day at 12 against Texas A&M 10-3. That was a close game. And then Tulane got beat bad by Ole Miss, and Oregon beat James Madison pretty bad. So I guess the Notre Dame fans might still have something to complain about, but who cares? That's the old news. Earlier this week, it was announced that T.J. Watt and Nick Herbig are out, and James Pierre and some others are out for the Steelers. This is bad, because now the Steelers have lost both edge rushers going against the high-powered Detroit Lions offense and good run game between Montgomery and Gibbs. And Jared Goff is a really good quarterback when he's pressured, so we'll see what happens today, later on in the Steelers. But right now, the main guy, let's hope the depth behind the edge rusher can lead. Our starting edge rusher today might be rookie Jack Sawyer from Ohio State. Let's hope he's a mean guy today and gets back in the backfield. Hopefully we get DeMar Harmon back, I think it's how to pronounce it, who was our first round pick from Oregon, and when he's played, we've had stopped the good team's run game and held him to less yards. So let's hope that Jack Stewart can step up and the average Steelers defense can step up. If the Steelers really need to do good today, they need Aaron Rodgers to step up and show that he's the MVP quarterback like he did last week, and show how good he did against the Miami Dolphins. Because this week's competition is a little tougher, because Detroit's still fighting for a playoff spot and has a really good coach in place and has a good two-back run system between Montgomery and Gibbs. But I think the Steelers will win this week, in a close one, hopefully. But it's going to be tough about having our star linebacker T.J. Watt and Nick Herbig. Nick Herbig has come along the last couple of years after getting drafted from the University of Wisconsin. He has shown up a lot and been one of the best backups to T.J. Watt that we had. It stinks that he has a hamstring injury and won't be able to play. But like I said, I hope Jack Sawyer can show up and show out for the Steelers. The Steelers also need to have a strong run game today if they want to win. They need Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell to go off today and help. And like last week, the Steelers need to maintain the ball for more than a couple drives and have the time of possession. That will be a key in today's victory too for the Steelers to win, and not lose in the turnover battle. But if the Steelers end up losing today, at least they can be tied to Baltimore. Baltimore can beat the Patriots tonight. But let's hope that doesn't happen. The Steelers will be playing Detroit, so they don't have to worry about weather because Detroit's a dome stadium, indoor stadium, so they don't have to worry about the cold weather. But let's hope that Aaron Rodgers can cook up some good passes to Pat Freiermuth, DK Metcalf, and start getting other people involved like MVS, Adam Thielen, and other people. Maybe Roman Wilson might show up today if he's active, but who knows? Roman Wilson hasn't been active because I don't think he's really learning the system that well. And people like Adam Thielen and MVS have been around the game a lot longer, and people fear him a little more, so that's why they're out above him. But we'll see. And maybe Johnny Smith can finally get open today and get more yards, since Johnny Smith led the Miami Dolphins last year in receiving yards. So maybe today he can have a lot better game. But Kenneth Gainwell has been quite a surprise this year. After signing just a rookie deal or vet deal, prove a deal, he has shown that he's one of our best running backs so far this year. And right now I'm pretty sure he's still our number 2 receiver behind DK Metcalf. That is really good. Let's hope he can continue that. And that Aaron Rodgers can get enough blocking, because he might be without Isaac Samuel today. I can't remember if Pete will be back. I think it's a game time decision. But maybe Cook can do good again like he did last week in place of him. But we'll see. It's going to be a rougher game this week, I think, because both teams are fighting for the playoff spot, and both teams are hungry. And like I said, the Lions have a good offense of St. Brown, Jameson Williams. They got 2 good receivers and a really good quarterback, and Jared Goff. Jared Goff, he got traded from Detroit. And Jared Goff, who got traded from the Los Angeles Rams to the Detroit Lions a couple years ago, has been lighting it up there and turned around Detroit. And now Detroit's not always like the last team, but everybody said, oh, it's Detroit. They'll never be good. Detroit's really good. Detroit's been better with Jared Goff, and he has good protection. It might be a rough game if the Steelers defense can't get back and pressure him. But we'll see. Any given Sunday, all I do is watch my Steelers and hope they win. Another game this week, I think the Jaguars will beat the Broncos. Even though that might be a good game, I hope Trevor Lawrence does good again this week. But you never know with Trevor Lawrence. Some weeks Trevor Lawrence does really good, like he did last week against the Jets. And other weeks Trevor Lawrence doesn't do good, and the Jaguars suffer. But the Jaguars are still number 1 in the AFC South right now. But they have to worry about the Houston Texans and Indianapolis Colts gaining ground on them to make it to the playoffs. But like the Steelers, the Jaguars need to win out to make the playoffs. Or need the Texans or the Colts to lose a couple games. Like how we need the Ravens to lose a couple games, or for the Steelers to win out. I think the Buccaneers beat the Panthers and take first place in the division today. Also, we had the division winner last night. When the Philadelphia Eagles won, they won their division. And making the Dallas Cowboys mathematically eliminated the Dallas Cowboys from playoff contention this year. And they're America's team, but they won't be in the playoffs. They should not be called America's team because they have not won a Super Bowl since I've been born. But anyway, that's another story for another time. That's another day for another time. I think the Buccaneers win over the Panthers. I think the Patriots win tonight over the Ravens. Even though I want the Patriots to win because I don't want the Ravens to win. But I think the Patriots win tonight and get back on track after having a surprising, after losing the lead last week to the Bills and losing the game. I think the Patriots bounce back tonight. But we will see. Last night's Bears game was interesting. The Packers are up of a couple minutes left, and the Bears got a field goal. And then the Bears went for an onside kick with 0.5 chance of getting it, and they got it because the Packers guy couldn't catch on to the ball. And then the Bears tied the game up and went to overtime. And then the Packers got the ball first. And then it scored and got stopped on fourth down, turnover on downs. And then the Bears got the ball and had a nice drive and had a really nice pass to DJ Moore for a touchdown. I bet my friend Ray's happy he's a big Bears fan because now they lead the NFC North. And I might have clinched the playoff spot, too, last night. The Eagles definitely clinched a playoff spot after winning their division. And that's the first time in 20 years, I think, that division has back-to-back winners. The same team. The Eagles won it last year, and the Eagles won again this year. And the Eagles won again this year. So I think the Jaguars will win. I think the Buccaneers will win. I think the Saints will beat the Jets. The Chiefs, I think, might lose to the Titans, even though the Titans aren't doing so good, because they have Gardner Minshew in for the Chiefs. But we will see, because Patrick Mahomes, like I said, is out with an injury. And is injured right now, so we'll see what happens with that. Also, in other news, the Pittsburgh Penguins are on an 8-game losing streak and need to get something turning around soon, because the season is getting shorter near the end. But the Penguins still have a decent chance if they can start getting their act together and stop losing leads they have late in the game to go to overtime and end up losing the game. I think the Steelers win a close one to Detroit, but I'm a little nervous because Detroit isn't going to be an easy game, and we have both of our star edge rushers are out tonight. But I think the Steelers will win. Thank you for watching Stache Sports.